Oh, hey, how's it going, everyone? Today on Renovation Education, pulling up our pants and tightening our belt because we're going to be doing some plumbing work. So let's get into it. Alright, so today we're going to be replacing this faucet here with this newer one. I've already gone ahead and made sure this one will fit. There's two basic kinds of faucets. One's kind of like the one piece here, or there's three separate pieces. You always want to make sure that whichever one you're going to get will fit. Now, as I bring you underneath the sink, one thing you always want to make sure whenever you're changing a faucet is to look at your water shutoffs here and look at the condition they're in. These ones look good, but depending on how old that faucet is, these could be original shutoffs to the house. So, like any step you want to do with any kind of faucet, you want to first turn off the water and make sure they feel like they're actually turning off. These feel pretty good, so let's go ahead and turn off the water. Alright, now let's go ahead and make sure the water is actually shut off. It's a good way to test to see if the shutoffs actually shut off the water, or if they're so old they just might not work anymore. So it's always good to test that the water is shut off. So now that the water is shut off, let's go ahead and take off the water lines. I just have a pair of slip joint pliers here, nothing fancy. Now it's always good whenever you're replacing the faucet, I always like to replace the water line, because I don't really like these rubber ones. I like the stainless steel ones, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace these water lines too. Now that the water lines are off, it's easy to go ahead and drain these lines. Go ahead and open up the faucet, and the water comes out. So as you can see, these bolts right here is what's holding the sink in. And this one looks good over here, but this other one here is pretty rusted out, so it's gonna be a little bit of a pain. So let's go ahead and get these bolts off. So to take this first nut off, I'm just using a pair of adjustable pliers right now, or a crescent wrench. Now you can see this part here is what clogs the sink, and it'll unclog the sink. So let's remove this too, so we can go ahead and slide it out. This is pretty easy. This is just a clip right here. You just go ahead and slide this out. There you go. Simple as that. A lot of this plumbing stuff, at least for a little faucet repair in a bathroom, it might look intimidating. It's very easy, as long as you just remember the basics of turning off the water. And, you know, plumbing could be a lot of trips back and forth to Home Depot or Lowe's, due to little things that you might not have. Luckily, I've done this long enough to where I have tons of spare parts, so hopefully I won't have to run out and grab something. Back up top, this should come right out now. Ah, there it is. There's the old faucet out. Now where the old faucet was, I don't know if you can see on camera, there's a lot of just gunk and calcium build up here, so I like to take a razor blade and go ahead and go around and lightly scrape all that junk off of there. This step here is what's really going to make a nice new faucet look good, and spending the time and cleaning up around the edges. So this faucet also came with a new shiny drain, so we're gonna have to take the old one out. Now all these are different, so it's a lot of it's just playing and seeing how this one comes out. I have an idea, so let's go back underneath. Here, this is with the old drain, and this, you know, as you see here, this will work by shutting it and opening it. So first you got to take this off. It helps if you go the right way. And now that top drain should pull right out. And there it is. Just like that. Now this will be a little bit more complicated to get out. It'll go back underneath. So, sitting under here with our bigger slip lock pliers, let's go ahead and loosen everything up. Just like that. Alright, let's get comfy, and we gotta loosen this drain up here too. So this is loosened up. Go ahead and try to pull this washer down. Now make sure you wear gloves, like I'm not, because this could get a little gross. Alright, hop back up. Now you can just pull out our old drain. Look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? And just like before, let's go ahead, get our rag and clean up this area. Get ready for the new one. So now before we put in our new drain, this one's a little bit different. It's gonna have to go to the bottom up. Then we'll screw this on, and then tighten this. So that's how this one works. Now I like to use a little bit of plumber's putty. Stuff is like silly putty. You wanna go ahead, get it kind of warmed up in your hand, and make a nice little snake. And this stuff doesn't go bad very easy. So you can buy a bunch of it and it'll last. So get, and maybe a little thinner than that. And put this a nice bead around the edge. And this is what's going to help make a watertight seal along with this gasket here at the bottom. So now let's go ahead, push this up from underneath, and you want to make sure this side here is facing towards where the faucet's going to be. Alright, we got the bottom coming up to the top. Go ahead and tighten up this. You want to get this as tight as you can by hand. Alright. And you should start to see your plumber's putty coming up through the bottom. Alright, and when you put this in, you want to make sure you start and make sure you have that on so you don't have to take it all back out. So let's go ahead and tighten this from the bottom. So let's go ahead and give these a couple turns. Now remember, this is all PVC, it's all plastic. You want to make sure to not over tighten any of this stuff. Just get it pretty snug. So you should start to see your plumber's putty coming out. Just go ahead and get this off good enough for now. And that should do it for that drain part. Let's go ahead and work on the faucet next. Alright, so like I said, I got new water lines. Now you always want to make sure before you go out and buy anything, look at what size shutoffs you have. Most bathrooms are 3/8 inch for the shutoff side, and most faucets are 1/2 inch. Sometimes you could have both 3/8. This could be 3/8, or maybe your wall shutoff is 1/2 inch. So make sure you take note of that before you go, and take note of how long of a water line you do need. This will help you avoid multiple trips to the hardware store. Oh, we got our Teflon tape. We go ahead and do about 3 wraps of Teflon tape on our new faucet. Good to do 3 wraps, and this is what helps make a watertight seal so we don't have any leaks. Alright, got that on. Now it is much easier to go ahead and do this now than it is to do it later. So we're going to do this above the sink instead of having to do this underneath the sink. And like all plumbing stuff, you just want to get it pretty snug. You don't want to go crazy on this. So now let's go ahead and put this through. Back in our favorite position. And now these are the little caps that will hold it on. Let's go ahead and put them on. Now that we got our plastic screws on there holding the faucet down, I like to make it a little loose so I can go up top, pull it in. See how it's, I like to leave it loose, pulled in, make sure it looks square on there, and then I'll go under and tighten her down. But like I said before, don't over tighten. You don't want to crack it. It's only plastic, so we'll make sure it's snug. Before we connect our water lines, we want to make sure we put some Teflon tape around these shutoffs, just like we did on the faucet. It would have been smarter for me to know which one is which for hot water, so I'm gonna go ahead and presume the one on the left is hot water. If not, we could just switch the water lines. It's very easy. So let's go ahead and hook these up. Grab our crescent wrench and make these pretty snug. Let's tighten up our drain. Make everything else nice and snug. I want to make sure we put that little lever towards the side of the faucet, because this will be going in underneath, and that's what's going to control up or down, just like that. So let's go ahead and put this in. Make sure we put our handle in. Let's go ahead, now that our flap's in, put this lever in here. And you want to make sure you don't over tighten this part right here, because if you over tighten, it's going to be hard to open or close your drain. go ahead and make sure our drain opens and closes. You could just reach your hand around and move it around and you can see it open and closes. So let's go ahead and tighten up the handle, so we can do that with the handle on top of the new faucet. So this is the part that's going to hold it in place. This nut here will go on the back side facing the wall, and we'll slide the handle up through here. And these holes, as you can see, is for different sizes, and the holes will go through this right here, this long rod that will control the drain. So it's kind of hard to talk about. I'll just show you. Shove this up through here like so. Put this back kind of where it falls, like that. Maybe we'll go a little bit different here, like this. And we'll go ahead and tighten everything up. All right, once you've got everything nice and lined up, we'll put one side of this on. Then you want to put it through the hole here. The other side, just like that. So hold it nice in place. You want this pretty vertical of where it comes down, a nice straight line. Give her a test. Nice. All right, now we are ready to turn on the water and hopefully find no leaks. So I like to turn on one side at a time, and let's go ahead. No leaks. Turn on the other one. All right, looks like a little bit of water is coming out of where the shutoff is. So nothing we did. Hopefully that'll stop itself. Hope it's just from turning it on, or else I'm replacing a shutoff. So let's go on top and try her out. Now let's go ahead back down and check to make sure. We're not seeing any leaks at the joints. Good way to try this out, I like to clog it. And then once it fills up with water, go ahead and open it up and flush some water out and make sure everything holds. Alright, so while I go ahead and finish this up here, I'm going to save you the boring part of the cleanup job. So as I always leave a job, cleaner than I found it. We got mud and dirt everywhere, so we'll go ahead and clean that all up. And I hope you liked today's video of installing a new faucet. It's a lot easier than it looks, so go ahead and give it a shot. Worst case scenario, you can always call a plumber. Or find some more help somewhere else. So go ahead and like the video if you liked it, dislike it, leave a comment down below of maybe something I forgot or something you have done that is useful that maybe I can learn from. That's all for today, and we'll see you next time.